Hey guys, it's 2017 and we are back to review one of our favorite shows, Project Runway Junior. Meet the designers up next. Stay tuned, everybody.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
We are a little late on Project Runway Junior, so we have 3 episodes to go over today. I'm your host, Michelle Uberreste, and with me I have...
Michelle's co-host, Carmen Cameron.
And we can find you on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes, at Carmen Cameron. It's CarmenCamren.
Right on. And you guys can find me at Uberreste on Instagram and Twitter. So, have you seen Project Runway Junior, the first season?
Yes, I have.
I actually missed that one.
You did?
And everybody kept telling me it was so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
So we're going to review it this time around. I don't think we did it last season. So we're on season 2. I'm kind of excited because I think it's like a different vibe with the kids.
Man, these kids are really surprising me.
And they're really like more excited about things.
They're so excited and they're so energetic and imaginative.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff they come up with is amazing.
They haven't been jaded yet, so they're a little more creative.
They're going to leave this show jaded after they encounter those judges.
Yeah. And so for the judges, actually,
I'm so cruel.
We have Christian Siriano, which was, I think, on the first season of Project Runway.
Yes.
And he's really made a name for himself.
Yes, definitely.
So we're happy about that. Kelly Osbourne.
I love her.
I do too.
I've always loved her. She's awesome. I think she's a great fit for this show.
I think so too, because she's a little more like inventive and funky.
Yeah, and she's youthful.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's youthful. I love it.
And then we have Aya Kanai with 17 magazine.
Yes.
And she's kind of maybe like the Nina of the show.
Yeah, I like to think so.
She's not so hard on the kids though, but they do kind of say, to the kids, like, we value you guys, so we're going to give you, honest opinions.
Right.
And I can't imagine being that young anymore.
I know.
Getting those kind of critiques, like it was hard enough.
Well, let's go make or break a champion early. So we'll get to see how they handle the pressure.
I think the kids are great though. They seem to have like a real... good relationships with each other.
Yeah, they seem to get along.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yeah, well, this week we got to see 2 that didn't quite get along, and it kind of almost cost somebody their spot, right?
It does, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that later. So we have our first episode. Yes. We kind of get to meet all these kids.
Yes, and all of these wonderful, bouncing, new, bright faces.
Yep, they're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And the very first challenge is Tim and Hannah come out, and they're in Central Park. And they're going to say, this is, the challenge where you're going to establish, your aesthetic as a designer and your point of view. Which I always like when they do kind of the first point of view challenge.
Right, just to see where everybody is.
When you can kind of do whatever you want. They did say, like, you should be inspired by New York. But you can take that so many different ways. I know this is like...
What designer isn't inspired by New York? That's like a qualification to even get on the show.
Seriously.
Like,
and there's so many different ways you can interpret that. I mean, we've seen so many New York challenges.
Yeah, haven't we?
And you can really take it and run with it. So I kind of like that. So they get 30 minutes to sketch in a $200 budget at Mood, and they actually get 45 minutes, which is 15 minutes longer than the regular adult designers usually get.
These kids can really sketch.
Yeah.
I'm like surprised.
I know. I'm wondering where these kids are learning this stuff.
Right. These kids are like really prodigies.
Seriously. Because, I mean, I grew up kind of sewing and making things, but I didn't know how to sketch when I was that age, like 16 or whatever. And I mean, I didn't know how to make my own patterns.
Right. I remember like being the prom dress designer girl. Like I designed so many people's prom dresses, but if I could show you the like women that I drew, they're like these curvy cartoon ladies with all these strappy dresses. It's hilarious. So I'm really impressed by these kids' ability to really sketch out an idea.
You know what makes me really happy is that kids are like doing things these days. I'm like, they're not.
Kids are like starting businesses.
Right. I mean, with all the social media and things that can numb your brain these days.
Right.
I'm really happy that people are still like doing things with their hands and learning a trade.
Right, because you know, social media, even though it can consume your whole mind and turn you into just like a marshmallow head, at the same time, it offers such a wide variety of inspiration.
Right.
Like, we didn't have a source like the internet when we were younger. We could just go see a bunch of pictures and Google a lot of ideas. So this kind of makes these new generation of kids more forward than we were.
Well, and it gives you a medium to, you know, display your work.
Right,
to the
that's
world
true too. Yeah.
But you can definitely take it too far.
Yeah.
To the point where, you know, you're not learning and you're not utilizing it as a tool.
That's true.
So more as a crutch, I'd say. So I'm really excited to see these kids like like that know how to do things.
Right, know how to take the inspiration and then make it their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we basically get to see them sketching in Central Park, and we'll kind of go through this one a little bit quicker, but we get to meet all the kids and kind of start to learn their personalities. I always, you know, have trouble remembering their names at first.
Me too.
But we'll get more familiar with them as we go on. So they start with 12 designers, which is a little bit less than the regular Project Runway, which makes it a little bit easier.
Right.
And then we see all kinds of different things, from bondage couture to a ninja look and athleisure couture. And then we've got kind of a girl who does boho stuff. So we definitely have a good mix of aesthetics. And then in the top we end up with Renee, who kind of did the bondage couture, and he's got, you know, a red dress with kind of some cage stuff on it.
I'll tell you, Renee's standing out already, though.
I think so too, but I think he's a little out there, so I think he has to learn how to edit that, because like with that bondage couture, I think you can take it way too far.
A little too bondagey. What do you know about bondage, kid?
I know, I was wondering that too. How old are you?
How old are you?
So, and then we've got Chelsea with her ninja look, and she's kind of into anime, which I think her stuff could be pretty cool. I think it's more up like my futuristic alley.
Yes.
And we've got Izzy, who kind of does like an athleisure,
athleisure, I like it.
Gown. And she's kind of inspired by like the joggers in Central Park.
Did you come up with athleisure yourself?
No.
Athleisure is a thing?
It's a thing,
That's the most awesome word I've ever heard. Athleisure. I'm adopting that as my style now. When you ask me what it's like, I'm totally athleisure.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you know about it?
It really rolls off your tongue.
Yeah. Athleisure.
And then in the bottom we have Ruby, who kind of does this long purple maxi skirt with a black and white top. And then Chris, who has too many patterns.
Too much going on.
Personally, I think that's a point of view, and I think it can work, and I think a lot of kids are into that these days.
I'm totally eclectic. I don't think kids like to match much.
Yeah, I think
if you take to social media again, you'll see that these kids love to be weird.
Crazy.
It's like the weirder the better, and I'm with it.
Me too. And I love the pants, and I love the jacket. I think it's just he also had the shirt that was printed. So I think maybe if you would have just dialed it back just a hair and maybe just done a black shirt, and then the top is crazy and the pants are crazy.
Right.
Crazy can be your thing.
Yeah, but they're totally here to learn and to learn how to curb the enthusiasm a little bit. So,
and this is where like geniuses are made, you know? So you've got people, you know, older designers that are pattern mixing geniuses. This is where it starts, I feel like. So I feel like he has a lot of potential, even though they put him on the bottom. Somebody has to be there, I guess. So, and then we have Molly, who kind of does this neo boho look, which I liked. I don't know why I was on the bottom, I guess because of the neoprene, but the print and the sleeves and stuff, I thought it was innovative.
Well, I mean, it was a lot, but we'll see.
Right. So the winner is actually Izzy with her athleisure couture, and the loser is Ruby. And you know, honestly, I think it really sucks to be the first one to go home.
I know, that's what I was about to say. Like how much it sucks, and you're a kid and you just get so excited and you're gonna be on TV and you're the first one to go home.
And you know, honestly, like it is such a rigorous process to even get cast on the show, so really none of these designers can be losers. It's just that someone has to go home first, and honestly, she just seemed a little younger than the rest of the pack. Right. So to me, I feel like it's hard because that first challenge, it's so hard. It's such a fast learning curve.
Right. It's almost like maybe the wrong person can get sent home.
Oh, absolutely. Because they don't even know. You don't have a history behind you of past looks. They have no clue who you are.
Right.
So, you know, I feel like that was really unfortunate, but
that's okay, Ruby. Hang in there.
Seriously, like you know, she's still really talented,
right?
And she's also like a singer, and everything. So I think she'll do well, and I think, you know, she took the loss really graciously. Right. So
no breaking down yet.
Yeah, just hopefully she can take it as a learning experience and just build off of that because. She seems like
she has a lot of years ahead of her.
Oh, yeah.
She's doing pretty good. So far, so good.
A lot.
So best of luck to you, Ruby.
Absolutely. So let's move on to episode 2 real quick.
The infamous find something and grab it and make a dress from it.
I know. I was surprised that it was such an unconventional challenge so early on.
So early on.
With the kids.
Right. Well, I don't know. I think with kids, like we were saying, the imagination is a big thing. Yeah. So to kind of play on that is smart. Let's see what these kids have.
I think we see a lot of creative looks.
Yeah.
I was just a little, like, when they walked in to the pool, there's like a lot of plastic.
A lot of plastic.
So I'm thinking like,
plastic,
okay,
everything.
Everyone's going to be using this as fabric.
Right.
So I feel like they already kind of got thrown a curveball right there. They did have other things kind of on the side of the pool, shells and pool noodles and stuff, but
yeah, we saw some cool like texturing things happen with. It looked almost like a fish, like a blue dress, almost like a fish scale. It was really cute.
Absolutely.
Yeah, these kids have something going with them.
So we have Serena Godin, the president of Butter London, who is one of the sponsors for the show. And then they get no trip to Mood. They can only use unconventional materials and muslin, but the muslin can't be showing. And they get 5 minutes to gather material. Crazy. And so in the workroom, there's a couple of interesting things I'm seeing. Watermelon jacket.
Right. Oh my goodness.
That is just like genius to me.
Right.
And then we see Tyler working on kind of a dress made out of green astroturf.
Right. We see this turf situation.
Yep. And then I see just
that was cute. That was a cute idea to grab the turf.
I thought it was great because he knew everyone's going for the plastic and the colors, and I think it was a totally different look that stood out to me on the runway.
Definitely.
And another funny thing is that we have these kids, they're so young, they don't like understand all these references to pop culture. So Tim's, you know, saying like, "Oh, it looks like Gilligan's Island in here," and they're like, "Who? What? Is that a book?"
It's like 30 years before they were born.
And then later, when we have the runway, you know, they're talking about Tina Turner, and everybody's like, "What?"
My goodness. That's how I feel when they start talking about Goku and stuff like that. I'm like, who?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm late with the kids. I'm late on the kids stuff. I have no idea.
We're getting old now.
You start talking about anime and I don't know.
Yep. So, we have... Actually, let's look at the photos from the first episode real quick. The winning look, the athleisure look. And the
totally
second
with
look.
the athleisure.
And the losing look. You know, the losing look wasn't that bad.
That was really smart, the halter, the way they tied it in with the flowy
black and
skirt.
white top with the purple skirt. I thought it was cute and wearable, but I just...
The athleisure?
No, the losing look.
Oh, okay.
Athleisure look was absolutely wearable, too. It's just that you have to, you know, what the judges have to do is compare you to everyone else.
Right, exactly.
So, and then let's take a look at the top and bottom look from the second episode.
Love the athleisure.
Which Tyler is actually the winner with the foliage dress, and I thought it was genius.
Yeah,
I agreed.
So cute, absolutely. And the pattern in the front was really cute.
It just looks so expensive, and it looks like something really couture and that could go, you know, on a runway right now anywhere. I agree with Christian that the back had nothing on it.
Yeah, a little. It gives too much attention to just this boxy shape. There's nothing distracting us.
It just looks like the grass.
Right. There's nothing really distracting us.
Absolutely.
Now I'm getting distracted. I'm distracted by the shape. The front, you have all of this fun texture to look at, and it's just so captivating. And then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I wish he would have continued that to the back, but we do know they only get one day.
Yeah, but no, this is great.
And we were actually talking in one of the Facebook groups for Project Runway the past couple of days, and the kids actually get a lot less time than the adults on Project Runway.
I wonder why.
just because they're kids and they can't work 18 hours a day, I think.
Right,
and they
exactly.
have to,
the attention span. They need naps.
They're not employees, but they have like laws in place for child labor and stuff, which it's technically not labor, but I'm sure that they want to make sure the kids are all like healthy and everything. So, so to create a look like that in, I mean, I don't know, 8 hours.
Right.
You know,
it's good.
You definitely have.
I'm sure they're gonna judge them according to their time as well.
And of course, they don't have as much experience in construction. So, and then we have the losing look, which is Lucas, and he had a really cool. He had picked up a butterfly plastic pool toy or something like that, and I thought this could be so rad. You know, place the butterfly stuff, and it kind of ended up falling flat.
Yeah, it did. It just wasn't enough. Design to
and
it.
I was kind of shocked because I feel like Lucas had a lot of, I don't know, I just get a good feeling from him that he had a good taste level, and I don't know what happened.
Maybe that panic or that anxiety of just these materials and.
Well, I don't see any of the materials transformed.
Right.
Either. So maybe he's used to using a fabric, and he kind of mentioned that in the show too, like, I don't do unconventional, but I think when you let that get to you, then it's a problem. So we say goodbye to Lucas.
Yeah, it's almost like having a brain fart. It's just like,
you're
stuck. What do you do?
But I think, again, all these kids have a bright future ahead of them.
Right, definitely.
And we've got, you know, so much time to develop, you know, their aesthetic and their work ethic. So let's cover episode 3.
Yes.
This is actually an avant-garde challenge and a team challenge.
I want to go write challenges. I wonder if they'll if they'll let us like write challenges. We should submit challenges.
Just submit them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Okay, we get it. But okay, avant-garde. So you see these guys up fencing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and it's Tim.
It's Tim. Tim is a fencer.
Right.
And he's actually with Tim Morehouse.
Right.
Who is an Olympic fencer.
Exactly.
And their inspiration is kind of fencing and
I was
armor.
excited.
Me too.
I was
armor.
excited. Yeah. I thought about you too. I was like, Michelle's going to love it.
Yeah, I was so down.
Especially when I saw... I don't know if I'm moving too fast, but the girls with the black leather.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I know Michelle lost her mind.
I love that look.
Yes, it was awesome.
And I think, you know, like we talked about before, these kids are so much more creative. They're kind of unbiased so far, and, you know, they're more imaginative.
Yes.
So I think it's kind of cool they did, you know, threw in the avant-garde. Let's do some cool challenges before we do, like, the commercial stuff.
Right.
So
this has been my favorite so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Me too. And so they actually get $300 at Mood, and they're in teams of 2.
Right.
So they can get a little bit more done, I think. Right. You know, we have Team 1. Let's actually take a look at their final looks as we talk about the teams. And first up, we have Hawa and Akai.
Yeah.
And this, to me... I think they had a good idea. I think the sketch was good, but from the get-go, even when they were sketching, they're kind of having a problem working together.
Yes.
So you can really see that coming across.
Yes, this is definitely a clash of the wills. I didn't quite get... I guess this is like inspiration from the medieval kind of Victorian. You get this like snatched waist with the booty pop underneath thing. But it didn't come together for me, and I'm not gonna let their age be an excuse, because it's a lot of kids on this show, especially this particular challenge, that did excellent.
Well, I think both of them separately are excellent as well, but it was their teamwork.
Yeah, the teamwork
failed.
held them up.
Yep.
Definitely.
To me, this kind of looked like Snow White. It was like the high collar and the bow, the red bow.
It kind of looks like Cinderella and the evil stepsisters at the same time.
Yep.
It looks like Snow White and the evil, like, what was it? What was Snow White? There was a witch with the apple and the...
malevolence.
Yeah, it looks like both.
Yeah, it does. It does. And it doesn't look particularly avant-garde to me either.
It doesn't. It looks costumey.
But at least they had thought through their... you know, their inspiration, and it was kind of like, okay, the red is like the blood because the fencers would wear white, so you could see where they were hit.
Right, and I get it. On the strappy arms, that makes sense. Fencing, like, swipes or...
Yeah, but...
You know, I get it. The bow I don't get, the collar.
And you're only looking at 5 looks today, so out of those 5, this was definitely the worst.
I think the skirt would have been really nice if it had been sewn together properly. Those pins.
I mean, but it's not avant-garde. It's just a big fluffy skirt. So.
But you know, it may be hard to really fathom what avant-garde is at such a young age. Too.
That's true too.
Depending
and I think
on what you've been exposed to.
Really kind of struggled with that. She's like, I don't know even what avant-garde is.
She didn't even know what avant-garde was from the top.
But I think she's super creative and fun, so I feel like maybe if she would have done the look on her own, it would have been more successful.
Yeah.
And the next look we have...
I loved it.
This is...
That is so
Allie
fierce.
and Chelsea. Yeah, it definitely looks like a ninja to me.
Yes, and...
I love the pants, too. Because you don't see pants that are tricked out very often.
Right.
You see, like, the jackets with the big shoulders and stuff.
I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. And I love that I love black, obviously.
Yes.
And I like that they did kind of the leather with the matte black. I kind of wish it was like a little bit of color, like maybe underneath the pieces or just
But
like
even the
tiny.
textures of like the matte, they decided to use the matte black against the shiny black leather.
That was something, definitely.
And look at the structure.
Oh, yeah.
The structure is amazing.
I think this was definitely successful.
This is definitely inspired by anime.
For sure.
For sure. She's about to kick some butt.
Oh, yeah.
For
and I think
sure.
she you know, has that vibe of like the fighter and the armor and everything. Totally meets the criteria for me.
This could totally be, she could totally be an action figure from a video game, like Mortal Kombat or something.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
She shows up with her little swords.
Absolutely. Great job on this one.
Great job, ladies. And they were so Tinkerbell and tiny and cute and petite.
I know.
It's like, and then they come with this fierce vision.
Totally.
I love it.
So next we have Cartier and Izzy.
Lived for it.
This one, to me, I like the sketch better because I felt like on the runway it was too dark and I couldn't see all the cool asymmetrical things going on with the jacket.
Okay.
And I get that they were kind of doing like the Baroque hips and I like the textures and the colors and everything. I feel like there was something missing on the jacket, some kind of contrast. Even if it would have been gray or something dark.
Yes.
Because I think the vision was cool.
I think it was cool. I think it was
didn't
better
have as
than
much impact as the others.
Right. When I first saw it come out, I said, "Ooh, that neckline." I loved it, and I liked the I liked the big skirt.
Yeah.
I think that it was better than what they thought it was.
Definitely.
I think that they were like, "Oh, I'm not too sure." They weren't as confident as they should have been, but I thought that this look was strong.
Definitely.
It wasn't the very best look.
It's just on the runway when you have so much dark.
Right.
All the cool details and design you put into it kind of get lost.
I still give it a 7.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I gave it a 7 too.
Yeah.
So I think we're pretty on par with that one.
I liked it. It was high fashion.
I think so too.
It was high
definitely.
fashion.
I could see this on runway. And then our next look is Chris and Renee. To me, this looks like an expensive Disney villain.
It does. Looks like, again, Mortal Kombat, like Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah. It definitely was Asian inspired, not just because the model is Asian descent, but like the style of it. And they even said it was kind of inspired by terracotta soldiers, which I can definitely see.
You can totally see it.
I liked it. The judges were saying it was kind of too costumey, and maybe it does have a little bit costume element to it, but I thought it was pretty rad.
It's cool. I mean, it's cool, and that's the thing. It's cool. It's dope.
Yeah.
I like the detail around the sleeve, like this wide.
The pops of red,
Right, pops of red.
I love the heart detail, too, because I think they were, thinking about it. They were like, well, the armor is to protect your vital organs, and, they kind of created this heart out of the paint and fabric, and I thought it was a cool idea.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
And then last but definitely not least,
nowhere near least,
Molly and Tyler, and this is like blowing my mind.
I'm like, bruh.
This is something you'd see.
Like, is Aaron in their back pocket hiding like, I got you kids, don't worry about it.
But I mean, this looks to me just so high fashion.
Everything about it is on point.
And it happened in a day.
Everything about it is on point. I'm very confused at how they are developed enough to create such a garment.
Absolutely. I mean, this is, to me, an example of when simple is so refined.
Yes.
It's not basic, but it's just simple and straightforward, but every single thing works about it. They have the coat is backwards in the front. It's kind of the armor and the sleeves and the proportions and the shape and the face
monochromatic
being
with the gray. Like, they choose a charcoal to go on the front and then the black on the sleeve
I mean, this to me looks like Issey Miyake.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, just
total,
it's amazing.
Yeah, I can definitely see this on the runway.
The pants going with it. It's
perfect.
The taste level is so sophisticated, but yet it's surprising,
Yes.
And then, you know, the styling and the makeup and everything it's a total look.
It's a total look. Like, I have not given it a 10. Like, I have nothing to say about it.
I give it a 10 too, and I rarely give it.
It's amazing. The shape is, like, it's just amazing. The model wore it the right way. She walked the right way. It was
Absolutely.
I loved it.
Absolutely.
I was very impressed.
So we see Tyler's actually the winner.
Yes.
Because he kind of was the brainchild of this coat.
Yes. Which really stood out.
Yeah, and I mean, just everything about this to me was perfect.
Yes.
Like, if this would have been on regular Project Runway, it still would have won.
It still would have won. That's why I was like, even the structure down to, like, how they put it together and how neat it was. The seams look good. The structure looked good. Like, everything. The fabric that they chose held the shape.
Was perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect.
And it was actually really smart because this is something you don't, it's, you know, a heavy felt. You don't have to hem it.
Right.
You can just cut it raw, and that's how it's supposed to look. And it lends itself to, for the structure, too. Yep.
Very smart kids. You guys are going places.
I wish these kids would be winning money instead of immunity.
I know.
I think they need that more.
Yeah.
So, and you know, some of the prizes we have this season, they do get, if you know,
get like a sewing machine.
They get a Brother Sewing Studio.
Right.
And they get makeup from Butter London.
Right.
And then they get the chance to develop a nail color.
Right, a nail color. That was random.
And then they get $25,000 to start their brand or whatever. But I wish they had more. Like, I think they get $100,000 on regular Project Runway. I know it's kids, but I mean.
But look at the work.
Right, exactly. And now I'm a super fan of Taylor because everything I've seen him make, I just.
Maybe it's less stress. Maybe they give the adults more money because maybe they're like, we're going to try to ruin you. Like, the kids, they aren't as hard on you.
They don't need
maybe.
it. No.
They need it though. They're just as talented. They need it.
But I mean, they don't need it in the fact that
they are missing time from work to be here.
True.
So maybe that plays into account.
Which I was wondering, I think they must film this in the summer so the kids don't have to be missing school. Yeah, because when they film, it's like a straight 2 months of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be the summertime.
Yeah, and we don't really see where they're staying either, so I'm not sure, but we do know they're in New York. So Tyler wins. Well-deserved win.
Well-deserved, Tyler.
Second win in a row.
Right.
And, I mean, he's my favorite.
Yeah. He is. He's very confident.
What do you think? Who are your other favorite designers?
I liked. I don't know. I don't remember their names, but so far, the first two young ladies that made the Black Avant-Garde.
Okay. Chelsea and Allie.
Chelsea and Allie worked very well together.
Chelsea's like my girl, too.
That's your girl?
I like her.
She's like little Michelle?
Yeah. And I just vibe with her aesthetic, and I just, I think that she has the same tendencies as me, where she could go costumey, too. Right. But I think if she really thinks about her looks and stays, in that creative zone, like, she could go really far.
I think it's interesting to watch these young designers deal with being outside of their comfort zones.
Right.
Because they did touch on that. The young guy who collaborated with Akai, he was almost like, I don't want to be out of my comfort zone. Like, I like to be comfortable. That's why they call it the comfort zone.
He's so funny.
Feel good. He almost reminds me of like a little Cornelius.
Yeah,
he is so funny and so cute. He is so cute. Like, personality wise, I really like him. But I think it's important for these kids to build that character because, the comfort zone is not your friend. And you grow up thinking that it is, but it's not. Like, you have to step outside of that and learn how to challenge yourself in new ways. So
absolutely,
this is
every
awesome.
Season as a designer, you have to push yourself to be new and still maintain your signature. But you need to. I mean, that's a struggle for even seasoned designers.
Right, it is.
If you don't challenge yourself, it's like fashion. If you become stale, like, it's over.
Right.
So,
but I think the guy who won this week,
Taylor.
He's my favorite.
Me too.
Yeah, so far he blew me away with that jacket.
I think that he's just got such an innate sense of fashion and, what it should be.
Yes.
And what it could be.
Yes.
Because I don't like it when kids or adults, or kind of follow the trends too much.
What I want to know is, where do you get this type of experience from at that age to construct something?
It's innate. I mean,
is it something that you're just born with?
I think somewhat. I mean, for me, I grew up sewing. Both of my grandmothers sewed. My mom sewed. We sewed a lot of things. So you definitely have to have practice. You can't just like jump on a sewing machine and you're like, a wizard. But I think like the design part of it somewhat can be taught, but I think it's like it's inside you.
You have to be born with it.
Yeah, it's just like any other talent, I think too.
Right.
So I mean, he just has it's inherent sense of like the proportions and balance, and also practice. I mean, maybe he's at home doing stuff all
this
the
makes
time.
me really wish that schools still had home economics.
Did they not?
They don't. Like
That's
like the
sad.
home ec class where you learn how to cook, you learn how to sew. Like I particularly remember learning how to thread a sewing machine and how to make a pillow. Like those memories last, and those are skills that you can take with you.
I think so too.
Yeah, and just seeing these kids and what they can do with those talents just makes me wish that more children were exposed to these type of things.
I think so too.
Because I think it would be wonderful to see what their minds can create.
And not just fashion, but art and music and like anything, because sometimes you don't know what you're good at till you're exposed to it.
Exactly.
And, you could be good at,
exactly
skateboarding or
So I wonder how Tim
or,
is gonna. I wonder how he's gonna treat him this year with, in regards to helping them in the workroom. Is he going to be really strict? Is he going to control which way they go? Because being so young and being told that your ideas aren't right, you know how he comes in and says, "Well, this is all wrong." I wonder how that'll affect a kid.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I mean, I feel like the kids are handling it quite well.
Right.
I mean, you don't see everything, but when they're in the testimonials and they're talking to Tim and they're conversing afterwards in the workroom, they seem like they're able to take criticism pretty well.
Yeah, I'm sure they pick balanced kids for this. Like,
I think you'd have
personality
to.
traits.
Yeah.
I'm sure they went through all types of personality
Well, I think
tests.
they're a little more careful with like the kids' mental well-being too than with the adults.
Probably get more fun time. And,
yeah, but I mean, I think.
But I've always wondered, like, when you're young, I'm sure it helps mold you. But my concern is that someone will get thrown off track by the critiques.
I think it's possible, but even like Akai says, hey, Tim's just there to give you advice. It's your decision what you do. So it's like, these kids are so smart. Was I that smart when I was that age?
It's true. They didn't get this far by being weak, though. We know that.
It's
so
true.
these are some smart kids.
I wonder how they find these kids, and I'd be interested to know like all their stories. Like, where did you learn to sew?
I want to know more about these kids. This is actually kind of more interesting than the adults, because you expect the adults to have all this life experience,
and they've worked in the industry sometimes, or they've gone to fashion school.
But these kids are blowing my mind. Like, how do you know how to construct this type of piece? So
seriously,
I'm excited to see their stories unfold. Really.
Yeah. Hey, if any of the kids are watching, you guys tweet us or Instagram us.
Yes, definitely.
So we want to hear more about your stories, and we'll definitely like let our viewers know too.
Yes, we would love to hear about your stories.
So I'm just super curious.
Yeah, I am too. I want to know how you guys got so good and how you got to Project Runway.
Absolutely, and what kind of shaped your your aesthetic too.
Right.
So, the end of episode 3, we have a lot of drama going on. And so we have Hua and Akai, they're
who completely
basically
did not get along.
Yeah, on the bottom.
Yes.
And they end up sending Akai home. And I feel like it's just because he's maybe a little more young and inexperienced. And, I was he almost got sent out the last challenge too. I just felt so bad for him.
Right.
And then, Tim comes in to give him the hug and everything. And he says,
dun, 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 dun.
I'm going to do the Tim gun save.
Yes.
And use it on Akai. So
he really believes in him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that, you could kind of tell it was going to happen because, earlier in the episode, Tim and Akai have this heart-to-heart talk and he's just really concerned. And although I do think he is still really young, and maybe a little more inexperienced than the others, I think that he has something special, so I'm kind of glad Tim used his save. At the same time, it's very early in the season, and some of the other designers are already expressing like this too, like, this is so early.
Right.
I don't think that's ever happened before.
Right, I don't know, and I don't know, Tim, about using your save. Like, 2 weeks in a row, you almost go home.
Yeah.
Then you use the save to keep them around. But did you just waste the save? Because is he just going to go home
I don't
next
think any
week?
save is wasted, per se. But it kind of, you don't know a lot about the designers yet. And then later on...
There's something there that Tim wants us to see.
Definitely.
So we have to stay tuned.
I hope we see it.
Yeah.
I hope it comes out.
We have to stay tuned.
No more
to
team
find
challenges.
Out. Right. I would be so upset if I got a team challenge and somebody I didn't get along with.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.
I would fake it till I make it, though. Like, we have to make this work.
It just, like, sometimes you can want to make it work and the other person doesn't. So
If I get
really
sent home
hard
for you, I'm going to be waiting for you backstage with my sewing needle, stitch you up.
Absolutely. But, I mean, Kelly
you
said,
together.
too, in the industry, you always have a team you have to work with. You have people
It's
you
true.
have to work with.
It's
and
true.
you just have to learn how to do that and deal with, and there's a lot of difficult
true.
people in the fashion industry. So you do have to learn how to do that.
It's not
Maybe
the
they're a little
nicest
young,
business
but...
in the world.
Yeah, but it can be.
Right.
If you find the right people to work with, it can
Right.
be awesome.
Right. So do you have a feeling who might win yet?
I don't know. I want Tyler to win. I'm going to call it right now.
I know. He knows who he is.
Absolutely.
Very confident, so.
And I think he has kind of that, he has, something creative.
He's too good. He's
but
almost too good.
He's polished it. It's not just
Right.
experimenting. It's like I feel like he's 30 years old and he has like so much
I
experience
feel like he's
under
been
his
here
belt.
before.
Yeah.
He feels like an old soul.
Yeah, to me
Yeah.
too. So I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
I also like Cartier. But I feel like her personality is so quiet that may, she does focus on her work, which is great, but I don't know if they'll want to keep her around just for that sake. But I think her work kind of speaks for itself.
Right.
So.
Well, keep wowing them with the designs.
Absolutely. And I love Hawa. I
Okay.
think that she could come up with some crazy stuff. I think she just has to kind of edit a little bit.
Okay.
Because, like, Watermelon Jacket, that's just genius. But then, they didn't like the dress underneath, so...
Right.
I don't know. But she has, she seems like she can create some, really loud, fun stuff.
Well, again, she's here to learn, so we'll see how her experience molds her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, the next challenge will have a day-to-night look. So I think they need to keep throwing this kind of creative stuff towards the kids and not
it's
do so
fun.
many...
Yeah, it's fun to see
Real
what they'll do
Woman
with it.
Challenge and commercial stuff.
Right.
I think that's important too, but maybe middle to later on.
I'm so interested to see what other type of challenges they give these kids.
I know.
Yeah.
I wish I
So
would have.
like a
I need to go
lunchroom
back.
challenge, like
lunchroom challenge.
take these cartons of milk and this meatloaf and these mashed potatoes
And Jello.
and Jello.
Jello cups.
We'll see like a Jello bra jiggling.
Some of these kids, I mean, they're so young and they're making stuff that is so sexy.
the bondage
It
situation.
scares me a little. Yeah.
The internet again.
I
Keep your
know.
kids off of social media.
Absolutely.
1 hour of social media a day and that's it.
Oh, an hour?
An hour. I'm gonna be
That's
a
a
mean
lot.
parent.
That's
That's
a
a lot.
lot.
Oh, okay. Maybe less. I don't know.
They need to do their
For every
homework
good
first.
dress they make, then I'll give them like an extra 15 minutes on social.
Absolutely. I kind of want to time capsule 20 years in the future. See where these kids are at, because I feel like
When I
that's
was
just so
their age,
exciting.
I was cutting apart denim and stitching it back together in different shapes and making jackets, or I would just stitch together, hand sew a big quilted pattern of denim, and then cut out my jacket and stitch it together, and had everybody giving me their old jeans to make old jean jackets and stuff, but nothing nearly as structured as this.
I know.
So,
and these days, you really have to have a business mind to be successful in art too.
did you know you were going to be a designer when you were this young?
Oh no.
You didn't?
No, I grew up in the Midwest, and so in the Midwest, this is not a career option. It's so I was gonna be a chemist.
I was gonna be a chemist
Yes,
too. Oh my god, that's so crazy.
I love chemistry. I don't know. I always did it kind of as a hobby thing.
I was gonna be a chemist, Michelle.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
crazy. I
Chemistry's
had my
awesome.
life planned out by 6 years old. I was gonna go to Johns Hopkins, and then I was gonna be a chemist.
Yep. I loved it.
Didn't quite end up like I thought it would, but
I don't know. It felt empty, and then I didn't want to make drugs, and you know.
You didn't.
No.
Psych, no, I'm joking.
So I love the like scientific part of it, and I think that's kind of why I'm into like the future and tech side of fashion too. But no, and then I just kept making my own stuff, kind of just for funsies, and people would tell me like, oh, that's you should do that. And I was like, oh no, that's like not realistic.
Nice. So what age did you like discover your aesthetic and just decide like,
young.
you know what?
Young.
I'm gonna do this.
I had my aesthetic probably at the same age they did, but it evolves over time and stuff. But I wasn't really serious until I got married at 23. And,
oh wow, okay.
My husband was from Denver and I was from Minnesota. We're like, where should we live? And he's like, oh, let's just throw our lives away and move to LA so you can go to fashion school. So
love it.
He was really like
my hubby.
Oh yeah, he was like the whole reason like I'm in fashion. So
I love it.
I know, and it was just. You just kind of have to go all in, but like,
and then you end up on Project Runway.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
I haven't had a lot of dreams come true in LA.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure.
Really give it up for me.
And you know what? Like these kids, if I would have been, it's not that I wasn't encouraged, because my parents definitely encouraged me, but it was just. I wasn't so focused on it. So like for these kids, they have such a bright future because if they're really focusing now and they're 16, I mean, they've got another 10 or 15 years to be developing that. And
and smart of Project Runway to do Project Runway Junior, because then they'll be able to say, oh, we had them way before.
I would love to see reunion shows like 5 or 10 years in the future if they're still doing Project Runway, which they've been doing it a long time, so I'd hope that it keeps going. But like do reunion shows with some of these kids on, like do a Project Runway Junior All-Stars. Now they're all grown up, and where are they? And I think it's just so exciting. And these kids, they're not.
I believe that some of these kids will come back on regular Project Runway.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I would like to see
maybe
that. Or
they'll
on
do like
All-Stars.
an
I don't know.
All-Star.
Throw them in with everybody else.
Right.
That'd be great. I think Tyler could hold his own.
Could you imagine getting dusted by a teenager? Getting sent home.
That'd be great.
I'm sorry, Aaron.
Absolutely.
Aaron, you gotta go. Tyler, you're the winner.
You're the new Aaron.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Absolutely. So, so we want to see some cool challenges this season.
They should do a prom dress challenge.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Like a prom couple or a prom suit or a prom
I kind of hope they do like a Junior Z challenge too, because sometimes we see on Project Runway like kids or men or real women or whatever, but I think they should what actual people their age are wearing. I'd like to see that. I should really go back and watch the first season. But I don't want to confuse myself, so I don't know. I'll see if I can fit that in, because now I'm interested, and we'll see if we can get some of these designers as our guests.
Yes, that would be so cool.
Absolutely. If any of you guys are in LA, please
hit us up.
We'd love to have you on the show. Yes. So we have a huge packed to the brim, season this season. Yes. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I feel like the kids they just aren't put so much in a box. Like some of us are set in our ways. We're a little older, but I feel like the potential is really exciting to me.
Yeah, and they get really excited about this stuff too,
I feel like they're a little more supportive of each other too. Not that the regular Project Runway designers aren't, but I think they're a little more aware of like, hi, this is a competition, and I need to look out for myself and be strategic, And I'm just surprised, like these kids being thrown into this situation. Like I know how stressful and hard it is to focus. So I'm really, really impressed.
I hope they've got the children's Tylenol on deck. It's gonna be some headaches. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it is.
It's just a lot. It's a lot. But these kids are building character.
Absolutely.
So
I'm really impressed.
Well, I'm really impressed.
So we'll see you guys next week for episode 4. Yes. If you have questions or you want to see, certain features on the show, please tweet us. Hit us up on Instagram. You can find me on both at Uberreste.
And you can find me at Carmen Cameron.
We'll see you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
We'll have like 10 looks next week.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.